Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to a new video. Today I would like to give you a first look and my first impressions on a new road cycling mount by Insta360, which I think is one of the best yet. Let's go. The new bike computer mount by Insta360 attaches to the front of our handlebars. There are both a version for standalone bars like mine and one for integrated handlebars. This is very useful if you have aero bars. This mount will work for a wide variety of integrated handlebars as well. I've tested the version for normal bars. The mount is composed of three features. First off, it has a mount for a bike computer, which sits at the top. Then it has a front attachment screw to attach an Insta360 X4 or previous generation 360 camera, which makes the camera point out right in front of us. This is a very versatile angle as it allows to capture both the road that we are riding and ourselves on the opposite angle. Then it has a three-prong standard action camera mount on the bottom that can be used with a Go 3S or an Ace Pro, or even to mount a light if you are riding in the evening or if you do long distance bike packing or ultra cycling races. As a disclaimer, this video is in collaboration with Insta360. They sent me this mount to try and test, and the views in this video are my own, as always. The mount attaches to the front of the handlebars very simply by substituting two stem screws with two longer screws and two adapters. These longer screws go into the mount, then we have the adapters, and then we attach the screws to the stem. This way, the mount becomes a single unit with the stem, pointing straight out in front of it. When we finish mounting the system, it feels really solid. You can choose to mount it substituting both the top screws or the bottom ones. Personally, I chose the bottom ones because I find it is aesthetically more minimal and more pleasing, as substituting the bottom screws will mean that the bike computer will be in the same exact position of the mount that I usually use. After having attached the mount, we can attach the Insta360 to the front screw. The front screw has a dial to adjust the rotational angle of the camera. I keep it always completely parallel to the ground with the screen facing up. Then we can put on the bike computer. You can also put on the bike computer before and then the Insta360, but it'll be a little bit harder to tighten the dial and to get that angle of the Insta360 perfect. I'm using a cordless Dura bike computer with a Garmin mount and works perfectly. This whole system, even with the bike computer and the 360 cam on it, feels solid and does not move at all. Personally, I call this mount the stealth mount, as it is very discreet. Actually, when you take off the Insta360 from the front, you can't even tell that this mount is there. It's compact and versatile, so if you do a lot of riding with other people and in groups, having the camera mounted out on the front will be inconspicuous and very easy to use without other people even noticing it. Also, it's just very convenient to leave this mount on and just attach the camera when we want to film, and then we can even take it off when we are done. As I tested it out on multiple rides around the hills in my hometown, I was almost surprised of how cool it actually looked when the whole setup was mounted.
Dare I say it, this actually looks really cool in my opinion. Looks like a crazy contraption like the ones that they use for aerodynamics. Pretty dope, to be honest.
The camera sits super flush with the bike computer, and maybe cool is a bit much, but it does feel pretty slick. As far as shooting goes, in my opinion, the best angle you can get with this mount is the point of view shot of riding. We can easily showcase the road we are riding on, our surroundings, giving a very unique and immersive perspective. This really shines, particularly in capturing downhills. The angle is dynamic, really conveys speed, and in my opinion, is the best and most exciting point of view shot you can get. Also, if we reframe the shot pointing towards us, we can get some sick descent shots as well as some pretty good climbing ones. The perspective with this mount for the third-person shots is a bit extreme, but in my opinion, a good compromise between getting the perfect point of view shots of the ride, compact and lightweight nature of the mount, and getting third-person shots of us. So overall, I think it is a very good solution to get a wide variety of shots with a single mount. As it has always been, the biggest issue with filming 360 footage on the bike is having to lug around mounts or selfie sticks and so on. With this mount, all of that can be forgotten because we have a small piece of gear that we can get really good shots with, and that is so small that we won't even realize it's there if we take the Insta360 X4 off. Another thing this mount is really good at capturing is suffering. I tested it out on climbs where I really sent it up the climb or a segment, and I always had the angle both of the climb and also of the extreme suffering, both during the effort but also immediately after the effort. And this turned out in some really suffer-fest shots, so you can also remember that suffering forever. This, in my opinion, can be very useful to leverage another key thing about shooting with 360 cams, and that is being in the moment without having to think about what we are filming. With this discrete mount, we can ride hard, we can go after KOMs or even races, really be present in the moment and capture real, raw footage of the suffering, of the highs, of the lows, without having to think about it. Regarding usage, this mount is built for road cycling. It is branded as a road cycling mount. And of course, on road, it works perfectly. But also, of course, I tested it on other surfaces, namely light gravel, and it can work. On light gravel, it can definitely work. But I would definitely not be doing any like really rough stuff, no mountain biking with it, because of mostly added vibration. Not so much because it isn't solid enough. I had some problems with a bit too much vibration on cobblestones, but well, I don't really tend to base my rides on riding cobblestones for hours, so I don't really see a problem with that. As a precaution, Insta360 told me to not exceed more than 500 grams total load on the mount, and they also told me to not use selfie sticks attached to the front screw. So of course I had to try it, and attaching a selfie stick to the front definitely works, but I do not recommend doing it. When you attach a selfie stick to the front, it really means that a lot of weight and a lot of leverage is going on those two screws at the stem. The system overall feels a lot less solid, especially when hitting potholes, bumps, and things like that. If you want to go with the angle that a selfie stick can give you, I would consider purchasing the stem mount, which I think is a more sturdy option for this kind of use. So after testing it out, I would like to share with you who is this mount for. In my opinion, this is the perfect mount for anyone who does bike packing, casual road riding, or if you're going like on a really nice cycling trip somewhere and you want to have a simple way to capture 360 footage without having to think about it. For example, I would definitely use this mount if I were to go on, let's say, a 5-day cycling trip to Switzerland or France, for example. The mount is so light and compact, it would be a no-brainer to take it with me, maybe carrying with me an extra action selfie stick to get some other shots alongside it. And I reckon with this mount plus a selfie stick, you could get a ton of different types of footage that will make for very interesting videos. Another type of cyclist that comes to mind is if you are a content creator or if you post a lot of content on Instagram or vertical video of, let's say, climbs, descents, KM attempts, etc. This mount is dope because you can, for a minimal extra weight penalty, get 360 footage, which can be directly then reframed vertically. And if you want to add speed, power, and data overlays, you can do so by connecting the 360 cam to the Insta360 app and doing everything directly in the app. So reframing, adding speed, power, and data overlays to the video, and then directly exporting from the app on your mobile phone. This, in my opinion, is the perfect way to capture this style of riding without having to wear chest vest or carry any other mount, and with a very, very minimal weight penalty. So it'll basically be like not having this mount. Another very useful use for this mount is if you do any type of like cycling vlogs. So you want to talk to the camera. This is a great way to have the camera there. You just don't even need to think about it. And you can have the action both of where you're riding and yourself, like explaining stuff. Like right now we are going to do a really, really horrible climb. Another usage, in my opinion, could be you could use your X4 like a dash cam so that we can record while we commute to work or around the city. So in the event that anything happens with a car, a crash, or accident, we have video proof of it. Road safety is really important, and especially here in Italy, it is very dangerous to ride on roads in the city. This is not the use this mount is intended for, of course, but I think it could be a bad way of using it if you live in urban areas where cycling is high risk, like European cities and the suburbs. 360 footage will always be capturing a lot of what is going on around us, so it could be very helpful if something happens. So there you have it, guys. This was my first look at this new mount, the Bike Computer Mount by Insta360. I hope you found this video useful, and if you want to purchase this mount or an Insta360 X4, I will leave a link in the description with a special promo for the first 15 people, which will give you a free set of premium lens guards when buying an Insta360 X4 from the website. Check it out, and I hope this camera gets you a ton of cool footage of your rides, of your travels, of your races, so you can remember them forever. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.